পোলার ইকুয়েশন এইটা এমন একটা টপিক যেটা নিয়ে ডিফারেন্ট ইউনিভার্সিটি স্টুডেন্টসরা খুব প্রবলেমে পড়ে, পোলার ইকুয়েশন অফ আ কনিক। তো এই চ্যাপ্টারটা যাতে করে স্টুডেন্টস যাতে কোনো প্রবলেম না হয় সেই জন্য তোমরা দেখবে আমি পোলার ইকুয়েশন অফ আ কনিক তার উপর একটা আমি ভিডিও বানিয়েছি। ফার্স্ট ক্লাসে আমি তোমাদের পোলার ইকুয়েশন অফ আ কনিকের দেখবে একটা পার্ট আমি করেছি যেখানে আমি স্ট্রেট লাইন, হাউ টু ফাইন্ড ইকুয়েশন অফ আ স্ট্রেট লাইন ইন পোলার ফর্ম, তোমরা সেই ভিডিওটা একটুখানি দেখবে। ওটা দেখলে তোমাদের এই পোলার যে সিস্টেম না, হোয়াট ইজ পোলার সিস্টেম, এটা কিভাবে ইউজ করা হয় আমি ডিটেলসে দেখবে। তারপর লেকচার 1 আমি দেখবে বানিয়েছিলাম। তো তোমরা সেই ভিডিওটা অবশ্যই দেখো, ওই ভিডিওটা দেখে তোমাদের একটা আইডিয়া হয়ে যাবে। এরপর আমি আজকের ক্লাসে আমি শুরু করবো মানে পোলার ইকুয়েশন অফ কনিকের সেকেন্ড যে লেকচারটা। এই লেকচারটা আমি এখানে দেখাবো যে একটা কনিকের পোলার ইকুয়েশন কি করে ফাইন্ড করা হয়। আর এখান থেকে সব কটা ইউনিভার্সিটিতে, যে কোনো ইউনিভার্সিটি, সে সিইউ হোক, কল্যাণী হোক, যাদবপুর হোক, সব জায়গাতে তোমার কোশ্চেন আসবে। তো চ্যাপ্টারটা খুব ভালো করে দেখো। আমি এর উপর তোমাদের সিরিজ নিয়ে আসছি। আমি অলরেডি একটা সিরিজ আবারও বলছি আপলোড করে দিয়েছি। আমি তার লিঙ্কটা আমার এই ভিডিওর ডেসক্রিপশন বক্সে আমি দিয়ে দেবো, তোমরা দেখে নিও একবার। তারপরে এই আমার সেকেন্ড লেকচারটা দেখবে। তো আর সময় নষ্ট না করে স্টার্ট করা যাক। পোলার ইকুয়েশন অফ আ কনিক, এটা আমাদের আজকের টপিক। তো দেখো, এটা করার আগে আমাদেরকে তো এটা আগে জানতে হবে না হোয়াট ইজ আ কনিক। যে কনিক যে আমরা বলছি না, কনিক জিনিসটা কি, এই কনিকের ওপরও আমি একটা সেপারেট ভিডিও বানিয়েছি, তোমরা আমার ইউটিউব চ্যানেল থেকে দেখে নিতে পারো। আন্ডার কনিক লাইক প্যারাবোলা, লাইক এলিপস, ডিফারেন্ট টাইপ অফ কনিক্স। ওকে, তো এর উপর একটা ভিডিও প্রিপেয়ার করা হয়েছে, দেখে নেবে। স্টিল টেক আ বেসিক রিভিশন অন কনিক। ওকে, কনিকের উপর একটা রিভিশন করা যাক। সো হোয়াট ইজ কনিক? সাপোজ there is a curve. Just take a brief introduction on conic. Suppose there is a curve. Suppose there is a fixed point S, okay, on the axis. On my x-axis, I've taken a point S. Now, suppose P is any point on the conic. What is P? My P is any point on the conic. And there is a straight line perpendicular to this axis. Take a point on this line. Say this is my capital M, and the line is say RS. Say this line is some RT, and we have taken a point on this line. Okay. Then what? Now suppose that this point P moves such that a point P ta ki korche, move korche. Okay, this point P moves such that the distance between S and P, this part is very, very important. Say that the distance between S and P and the distance between PM and their ratio. That means we have taken ratio of two distances. One distance is from S to P, another distance is from P to M. So SP by PM. And suppose this ratio is a constant, always constant. Okay, whatever be the position of P, remember, whatever be the position of P, this distance is always constant. For example, take another point here, say it is my P1, and take another point here, say it is M1. My distance will be SP1, and this distance will be P1M. This ratio is also equal to this constant. Suppose, for example, this constant is half. Say. Then SP1 by P1M, this will be also half. So whatever be the position of P in this curve, that doesn't matter. Okay, it simply does not matter the position of P. We always have this distance SP by PM, SP1 by P1 M1. It is P1 M1. All these distances are constant, and that constant is equal to this. Okay, so if a curve moves like this, or if the points move on this curve like this, then we say that this curve is a conic. So this is my definition of conic. This ratio will be always a constant. This constant can be half, this means less than 1, this constant can be greater than 1, this constant can be equal to 1 as well. Obviously, this ratio cannot be negative because it's a distance. Ratio between their distance, and distance can never be negative. So if a curve satisfies this, we say that this curve is a conic. So this is my definition of conic. Okay. Now this fixed point S is called focus of the conic. This fixed point S is called focus of the conic. This line is called directrix or directrix. Directrix or directrix, whatever you say. This is my line RT. Okay, and the constant, this constant to the right hand side that we have discussed, SP by PM equal to constant. This constant is called eccentricity. Eccentricity of the conic, which is denoted by E. This eccentricity is denoted by E. Okay, so there is a brief introduction on conic, and based on these values of this constant means eccentricity, we have 3 different type of conics. Okay, so the conics are, number 1, suppose E equal to 1. This conic is said to be parabola. If we take E equal to 1, this conic is said to be parabola. If my E is less than 1, this conic is said to be ellipse. And if my E is greater than 1, this conic is said to be hyperbola. So these are different type of conics. Okay, and I again repeat, this constant is my ratio of the distances SP by PM. So based on this constant, we consider 3 different type of conics. Okay, and I have prepared separate videos on ellipse and parabola. Okay, very soon I shall prepare a video on hyperbola as well. So go and watch these 2 videos. You shall get an idea about parabola, about ellipse, and detailed in conic. Okay, and one more thing that I want to introduce here. Suppose we know this fixed point S is focus. Now suppose we draw a perpendicular on this focus. Okay, we draw a perpendicular on this focus like this. So this is my perpendicular on this focus. This perpendicular, let this point is some L and this point is some L dash. We draw a perpendicular on the focus, we obtain LL dash. This LL dash is said to be latus rectum. Latus rectum. In short, it is denoted by LR, latus rectum. And this LS is half of latus rectum, which is called semi-latus rectum. So whenever we draw a perpendicular on what? Perpendicular on focus. Whenever we draw a perpendicular on focus, it is said to be my latus rectum. That means latus rectum is simply a straight line, right? Simply একটা straight line হচ্ছে, যে straight লাইনটা কার উপর perpendicular on focus. তো স্টুডেন্টরা বেসিক ব্যাপারগুলো না করেই চলে আসে তোমার মেইন চ্যাপ্টারে, তাই তাদের ম্যাথ সম্বন্ধে একটা ফিয়ার চলে আসে। তো ম্যাথ সম্বন্ধে ফিয়ার তুমি যদি কাটাতে চাও, অনলি ওয়ান ওয়ে, বেসিকটা ভালো করে পড়ো। বেসিক, আমি সব সময় বেসিকের উপর জোর দিয়ে থাকি যে বেসিক কনসেপ্ট যেন সবার ক্লিয়ার থাকে। কারণ তোমার যদি বেসিক কনসেপ্ট ক্লিয়ার না থাকে, তুমি এগুলো কিচ্ছু বুঝতে পারবে না। আমি এখানে একটা ব্রিফ ইন্ট্রোডাকশন আমি তোমাদের দিয়ে দিলাম অ্যাবাউট কনিক। ওকে, আরো ডিটেলসে জানতে চাইলে আমার এই ভিডিওগুলো দেখে নিও। তো এই যে পারপেন্ডিকুলার ফোকাসের উপরে এই এলএল ড্যাশ, এটাকে তোমার বলা হচ্ছে তোমার লেটাস রেক্টাম। আর এটা যে this is my half of lattice rectum, obviously একে বলা হচ্ছে semi lattice rectum. It has a notation. Semi lattice rectum is generally denoted by small l. Small l letter they denote করা হয় semi lattice rectum. Okay. So brief introduction on conic. Just pause the video and write down all this thing. Now coming to the main part. What is my main part? My main part is polar equation of a conic referred to a focus as pole. Okay. Concentrate on this part, focus as pole. So say that. What is this? I again draw this diagram, the same diagram. Say this is my, I again draw this diagram. Suppose this is my conic. Say, okay, this is my conic. We know this point S is called my focus, and this is my lattice rectum, LL dash. So this is my focus, and there is my small l, semi lattice rectum. Okay, and here see that my focus is pole. That means here S is the pole. We know what is pole. Okay, if you want to get more about this, just go through my previous video. That's a very, very important video. তোমার সব কনসেপ্ট ক্লিয়ার হয়ে যাবে তুমি যদি ভিডিওটা দেখে নাও, ফার্স্ট লেকচার ভিডিও, দেন এটাতে এসো। So S is my pole, and say that we are taking initial line to the left to focus. We can take initial line to the right to focus. I shall also discuss about it. But initially, we are taking Sx as my initial line. Means left to focus. Okay. Now suppose that there is a point, as we know, there is a point P. Suppose there is a point P. Say this point P, we have taken a point P. Suppose its coordinates is r, theta, as we know from our first lecture. মনে করো ফার্স্ট লেকচারের কথা মনে আছে? Yes, অনেকেই মনে করতে পেরেছো যারা দেখেছো যে ইন পোলার সিস্টেম কি হয়, ইন পোলার সিস্টেম যে কোনো পয়েন্টের কোঅর্ডিনেট কিভাবে থাকে, সাম r, theta. r, theta means what? This distance sp, এই যে sp ডিসটেন্সটা আছে না, this sp distance is basically my r. Okay, এই যে sp distance, this sp distance is my r. And what is theta? Say this is my initial line, so my theta will be in clockwise direction like this. If we take initial line this, my theta will be in anti-clockwise direction like this. I have done this in my first video. Okay, so this is my main part of polar equation of a conic. So polar equation of a conic ব্যাপারটা জানতে গেলে তোমাকে আগে ব্যাপারটা জানতে হবে about polar system, about theta, about r and everything. Then তুমি আসবে হচ্ছে what is polar equation of a conic. So there is my P, Sx, my initial line, my P, r, theta. There is simply a point on the conic. Okay. Now go to the definition of the conic. If we go to the definition of conic, then we know for a conic, see that we draw a perpendicular from n. Suppose this is my directrix, we draw a perpendicular on directrix. Say that, say this is some LM. Say there is some LM. We draw a perpendicular on directrix, say there is LM. Now, what is my definition of conic? Recall, my definition of conic say SP by PM means what? Take any point on the conic. Take any point. Whatever be the position of the point, that doesn't matter. That point can be here. Say that point can be my P. That point can be my P. That point can be my L, or that point can be any other point. Whatever be the point, that doesn't matter. The definition of conic always same. What is the definition? Recall. definition of conic, say SL, this SL by LM. This ratio of the distances, this is my directress. SL by LM, this ratio is always a constant, which is denoted by E. Okay? So, and say there is another point, say this implies SL is equal to E into LM. Okay? SL equal to E into LM. Now for the sake of simplicity, okay, so say this is my origin O. Now, for simplicity, let this is my X. Say this point is X. Because Sx is my initial line now. We have taken Sx as my initial line. So, you can see that from this diagram, it is very clear. What is my LM? See that this LM, this line LM is parallel to Sx. See that LM is parallel to Sx. That means my LM is simply Sx. My LM is simply Sx. So SL equal to E into Sx. Okay, that's my first point. Now corresponding to P, draw another perpendicular from P. Say this is my perpendicular drawn from P. From P, we draw another perpendicular like this. This point, okay. Say this is my P. From P, we draw another perpendicular. See that. This is my another perpendicular. Say this is my M1. Say this is my M1. Okay. Then what? Then again, by definition of conic, SP by PM1. SP by PM1 is equal to again E, because this is my definition of conic. SP by PM1 is equal to again E, whatever be the position on the conic. Okay, so just draw this perpendicular clearly, quite clearly. Draw the perpendicular clearly. This is my perpendicular. Okay, this point M1, PM1, SP by PM1 is equal to E. Okay, giving us SP is equal to E times PM1. SP equal to E times PM1. Okay, now see that from this diagram, if we draw a perpendicular, say there is my capital N. So Pn is what? Pn is perpendicular on the initial line. On the initial line Sx. তাহলে কি হবে? In that case, তুমি দেখো PM1. এই যে PM1, say that this is my PM1. PM1 কার সঙ্গে ইকুয়াল? Nx. এই দেখো Nx এর সঙ্গে ইকুয়াল। PM1 equal to Nx. Nx এর সঙ্গে ইকুয়াল হয়ে যাচ্ছে। দেখো ডায়াগ্রাম দেখো। This is my PM1, this is my Nx. So we substitute PM1 by Nx. This Nx. Okay, so step by step আমরা সলভ করব যাতে করে কোনো কারো ডাউট না থাকে। Then what? Then writing here, this implies my SP equal to this, giving you SP equal to E into Nx. See that how we can write Nx. See that Nx can be written as Sn plus of Sx. From this diagram, this plus of this. This is my Nx. দেখো কত ইজিলি দেখো আমরা করে ফেলছি বেসিক কনসেপ্ট ইউজ করে, একদম বেসিক। এবার দেখো কি আসছে, এখান থেকে তাহলে আমার ফাইন্ড করতে হবে কি Sn, আর এখান থেকে আমাকে ফাইন্ড করতে হবে তোমার হচ্ছে Sx। Okay. So this can be written as E into Sn plus of E into Sx. See that. E into Sn plus of E into Sx. Now what is ESX? ESX is SL. ESX এর ভ্যালুটা কত আসছে? SL. Right? এই যে this is my SL. S my L point. তাহলে ESX এই যে ESN E into SN তার জায়গাতে তুমি তাহলে কি পুট করে দিচ্ছ? এ দেখো E into SX, sorry, E into SX. We substitute ESX by SL. Okay? Keeping ESN as it is. Keeping ESN as it is. Now, how to find ESN? Say this angle is my alpha. Say this is my alpha angle. Okay? Then from this is our right angle triangle. From right angle triangle PSN, what we can write? From the right angle triangle PSN, কি লেখা যাবে? দেখো, base, this is my SN is base, and SP is my hypotenuse. SN and SP, SN by SP, this ratio is what? This ratio is cos alpha, because SN is my base and SP is my hypotenuse. Base by hypotenuse করলে কি হয়? Cos theta. And here my theta is basically alpha. Amar theta হয়ে যাচ্ছে alpha. Now this SN, see that? Now this SN, this become SP into cos alpha. So, and my SP is what? SP is my R. We know this SP, distance between pole and the point. I again repeat, go to my first lecture. Distance between this pole and this point, it is my R. R into cos, and look at alpha. See that? A entire angle ta koto? Pi to? Say that this entire angle is pi. এই পাই থেকে থিটাকে মাইনাস করে দাও, that will be your alpha. Look at this diagram, এই পুরোটা হচ্ছে পাই, this entire is pi. পাই থেকে থিটাকে মাইনাস করে দাও, so this will be your alpha. So alpha is simply your pi minus theta. Okay, basic দেখো কনসেপ্ট আমরা এখানে ইউজ করছি, একদম বেসিক কনসেপ্ট. So this is equal to R into cos pi minus theta. Now what is cos pi minus theta? We know pi minus theta কোন কোয়াড্রেন্টে আসছে? সেকেন্ড কোয়াড্রেন্ট. তাহলে সেকেন্ড কোয়াড্রেন্টে cos theta নেগেটিভ হয়, so this will be my minus r cos theta. তাহলে দেখো, তাহলে SN টা কি চলে এলো? SN, এই যে SN become minus r cos theta. And what is SL? See that according to our definition or diagram, this SL my half of the lattice rectum. Because দেখো LL dash টা হচ্ছে entire lattice rectum. এটা আমি আজকের আগেও করালাম না? LL dash টা হচ্ছে আমার entire lattice rectum. তাহলে এখান থেকে তাহলে আমার only SL কি হবে? SL হয়ে যাবে দেখো half of lattice rectum, which is my small l. So what we obtained is, see that my left hand side is SP, my right hand side is minus E into R into cos theta plus of L. Okay, now we don't need this diagram anymore. Just pause the video and write down everything. After that, what? Again, my SP is my R. SP টা তো R, এখানে আমরা ইউজ করেছি, my SP is R is equal to minus ER cos theta plus of L. Okay, take R to the left hand side, L plus ER cos theta is equal to L. Take R common, 1 plus E cos theta is equal to L. It's a simple calculation. Take divide R, divide by R. So this become my polar equation of the conic. Say that this is my polar equation of the conic. L by R equal to 1 plus E cos theta. Okay. This is my polar equation. So the proof is complete. We know what is theta, we know what is L, semi-letter spectrum, we know what is R, we know what is E. If my E is 1, this is my parabola. If it is greater than 1, it is hyperbola. If less than 1, it is my ellipse. Okay? And one more thing, see that in this diagram, I again draw the diagram, a fresh diagram. In this diagram, we have taken, this is my Sx as initial line, Sx, and this is my point P, r comma theta. This was my initial line. Okay, but what happened if my initial line is this? Say Sx dash. This is my theta. Recall, that was my theta. And my equation of conic is this. Now, what happened if my initial line is here? We know if my initial line is here, my angle will be this, alpha. If this is my initial line, my angle will be alpha. Then, in the same way, okay, in the same way, we can show that my polar equation of conic, okay, polar equation of conic, that will be L by R is equal to 1 plus E cos. Now this angle is alpha. Now this angle is alpha, right? Because we know if we take initial line here, my vectorial angle will be in anti-clockwise direction, according to my lecture 1 on polar equation of conic. This implies L by R equal to 1 plus E cos. Now, what is alpha? See, from this diagram, alpha is pi minus theta. Then pi থেকে theta minus করলে দেখো alpha আসছে. This implies L by R equal to, we know cos pi minus theta মানে minus of cos theta. So see that if we take initial line here, my equation of the conic will be this polar equation. That is the only difference between these two. Okay? See that this is my important, very, very important derivation, polar equation of conic, because there are so many questions that came from this formula. So there is a proof. Now there is an example how we can apply this. Okay, you can face this type of question in your exam. Okay, এই type of question exam এ খুব দেয়। যে concept তো হলো, concept use করে আমরা কি find করব? Find out nature and length of lattice rectum of the conic 2 by r is equal to 3 minus 3 cos theta. See that there is a minus sign. See that here we have a minus sign. That means my initial line is this Sx dash. Sx dash is my initial line. So my equation of the conic will be what? L by R equal to 1 minus E cos theta. That will be my polar equation of the conic. Now, how we can write this equation? See that, take 3 common. Okay, and then divide by 3. Divide by 3. See that this equation become in this form. Okay, this equation become in this form. So compare this with this. See that my L is 2/3 because this is my L and here my L is 2/3. Okay, now compare this portion with this portion. Clearly my E is 1. Okay, since E is equal to 1, this conic is a parabola. Okay, we know this. And my L is 2/3. Therefore, my lattice rectum, my L is 2/3. So what will be my lattice rectum? My lattice rectum will be 2 into L is equal to 2 into 2/3, right? So this is equal to 4/3 unit. 2 into L, 2 into 2/3, this is equal to 4/3 unit. So there is my entire length of lattice rectum. So that is given in question. You need to find out lattice rectum. There is my lattice rectum 4/3. and my nature, this is called my nature of the conic. This nature is my parabola. Okay, so it's a very, very important question that came in several universities. So just pause this video and write down the solution. So this is everything from my from my second lecture video on polar equation. In my third lecture video, I shall discuss what is tangent. What is tangent to the polar equation of a conic? Tangent form. Say this is my conic, and suppose we draw a tangent. What is the polar equation of this tangent? I shall prepare a video. So that will be my lecture number 3. Okay, so in this video, we have discussed what is polar equation and a basic application. In my next video, we shall find the equation of tangent. Okay, so দেখা হচ্ছে next video তে. Till then, bye bye.